Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. It's the first touch, strong connection. It lays deep in your soul. Feel the kindness strongly coming. 'Cause you can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road.
Hi, this is Nancy Yereld, and this is Nancy's Psychic View on the High Road to Humanity. And I have Joseph Kim here, and welcome to the High Road, Joseph.
Thank you for the invitation, Nancy.
I'm excited he's here. You guys, I have the coolest book in my hands, The Secrets of the I Ching. And I don't know so much about this, but it's the complete guide to the philosophy and practice of the I Ching for modern readers. And there is so much cool information in here. I have lots of questions for Joseph today. But before we get into it, I just want to, since this is High Road to Humanity, I just pulled this offline. These are the latest developments that are happening overseas. The headline reads, Hezbollah says wider Mideast war possible if Gaza assault continues. And so I'm sure a lot of people are keeping up to date with what is happening, but it says the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken urges Israel to temporarily stop its military offensive on Gaza to allow aid to enter, but faces pushback from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It says the Palestine health authorities in Gaza say Israel struck a convoy of ambulances that was to leave Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza and head south to evacuate injured people. France will host an international humanitarian conference for the civilian population of Gaza on November 9th as it looks to coordinate aid for the besieged Palestine enclave. 3 diplomatic sources said. So this is interesting. Also, the leader of Lebanon, Israeli-backed Hezbollah group, warned that the United States, and that's today on Friday, that if Israel didn't stop its assault on Gaza, then the conflict would widen into a regional war. You know, and this is what really worries me, because I do feel intuitively like it will escalate. Unfortunately, do you want to give your opinion on this, Joseph? I like to let everybody know what's happening in the world. I give them my intuitive take. What's your feeling on this
Okay,
whole
well,
situation?
it's a sensitive issue, but
Yes.
I stand for peace. So I stand for people of Israel, and I also stand for people of Palestine.
Yeah.
And I hope we come to the terms of peace soon, because we don't want any innocent people getting hurt.
I agree with you. And that's what we've got to get to. We've got to get to the vibration of love and compassion and stop the violence. And it's hard because, you know, you have people who are being attacked and they want to defend themselves, but it just goes on. It escalates and it continues. And so the answer to me, I always say the answer is prayer, but we can talk about the I Ching and you can tell me what the I Ching says, because you do a chapter on politics and you do a chapter on the economy. But you guys, let me tell you really quick who Joseph is. He's a 3rd generation Eastern medicine practitioner. He does specialize in Sangsang constitutional medicine. Is that proper?
Hassan, yes.
All right. Okay. Dr. Kim has served as the chairman of the Department of Eastern Medicine at Emperor's College and has 5 books in print. He maintains a private practice in Encino.
Encino.
I don't know why I can't say that. Yeah, I've been to Encino, California.
Okay.
I've spent some time there, actually. It's really nice.
Yes, well, Ensenada is nice. I don't know, nicer, but closer to the ocean. But yeah, it's nice here.
Hey, listen, tell everybody why you put this book together. I mean, what was your motivation behind this? Why did you decide to put it together?
Well, first of all, there are close to 200 books on the subject of I Ching in English. And most of the books are a translation of the poetic, cryptic verses of I Ching. And there is no book that actually gets into the fundamentals of I Ching. So Dr. Lee and I, my co-author, we decided to give a primer course on the subject of I Ching.
Okay.
Okay, that's one. And then the part of aspect of I Ching that goes further back from its philosophy and its ethical teachings
Right.
is the symbolic, mathematical, geometrical, and archetypal structure. So we wanted to give a glimpse into that.
Right. I think that's
And
really cool. Well, the I Ching translates, I did pick out a few things from your book that I thought were really interesting. The I Ching translates into the book of changes. I thought the text means changes, and I thought that was interesting. And you also say it's a holy text.
yes, so I Ching or I Ching in pinyin.
Okay. Oh, he froze you guys.
19th century, and then in the 20th century, in the 50s, Chinese government, they create this system called pinyin way of romanization, and so it's I Ching or I Ching. So I means change. Okay, so the Chinese character for change basically has two meanings. One is it represents the sun and the moon, which we can easily see the change on a daily basis.
Right.
And then the other one is it looks like a chameleon, which changes its color maybe 12 times or so during the day. So that's what I means. I has three basic principles to it. One is simplicity.
Okay.
So we say the truth is simple.
Right.
If you know the underlying pattern, then everything becomes easier to understand. Number two, changeability. So, or variability. So nothing stays constant. Everything's in flux. Everything's ephemeral. And then number three, constant or immutability or invariability. The fact that everything changes. Okay, so that's what I implies. And the Jing means it means classic or book, or it means holy text, which is sutra in sutra, right?
Right.
So it's like the Bible. And word suture comes from sutra. So it's the that which connects the separate parts together. So it represents interconnectedness, everything in this universe, like a web.
Everything's connected. Yeah, and it really,
Connected.
yeah, it you know, I interview a lot of people, and it's interesting because this philosophy is very similar to other philosophies, but it's just done in a different way, and it's done with 64 symbols. I think this is interesting. I don't know enough about it, but can you talk about, there's 64 symbols, and you say these are powerful keys to understanding the world.
Yes, so 64 hexagrams represent all phenomena, all matter in this entire universe.
Okay.
And so it's a symbolic representation in a binary code called Yin and Yang. So maybe we'll get into that a little bit.
Okay.
So it is a force, a hidden force, or underlying pattern behind all manifestation.
Is it the Matrix? Is it the Matrix?
It's the Matrix. It's the
Okay,
Matrix.
all right. So we're talking about the Matrix. That's what I said. It's really interesting because you guys talked about this, and you talk about the mathematical equation, which, you know, everybody says beyond the Matrix, you see the mathematical equation. Is that what you discovered as well?
Yes, everything's one and zeros.
Yeah. That's crazy. Now,
Yeah.
what there's a lot of information in this book, and we're going to go through a lot of different aspects of it. But when you put this together, what was really surprising to you that you didn't know? What was something that was really like, wow?
Well, more we study going to I Ching. So I Ching is like a minefield of ideas. So
Right.
the deeper you go into it, more information that you'll, or wisdom you'll gain.
Right.
So this interconnectedness of everything, including all culture, is fascinating. So there's a lot more to life than what meets the eye,
Right.
and all the differences we see, whether in people or in culture, underneath it all, there's a unifying, you can say, pattern, a
Right.
network, interconnectedness, and that's what it fascinates me.
Yeah. Hey, I've got to stop. My printer went on, and I don't know why. It went on by itself, so I'll shut it down. It happens sometimes. Sometimes the electronics just kind of, start going on here. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, they have a mind of their own.
Me too. It's okay. We'll just go with it. Listen, there's so many things that you talk about in the book, and that I wanted to. We only have 45 minutes to an hour on the show, but some of the things I wanted to bring up were, you talk about the yin and yang of food and diet. And I just picked out a few things that I thought were really important for people to hear. And it just feels like our food supply has really been contaminated over the years. And it's just, I really have to watch personally what I eat. So I know everybody, I really have to watch the preservatives. There's just so many different dyes and things I think that you even discuss in the book. Can you just touch on that a little bit and how it applies to the yin and yang of food, I guess?
Well, diet practice is one of, we call it 4 practices.
Okay.
So you have a diet practice, you have a fitness practice, you have a skill practice,
Okay.
honing your skill or learning new skill, and then you have a spiritual practice.
Okay.
So diet, so everything is based on yin and yang. Okay, the entire universe is made up of yin and yang, and we human beings are also made of yin and yang. So idea is to balance this yin and yang. The health results when there's a balance and harmony of yin and yang. Disease comes about when you have an imbalance of yin and yang, or
Right.
tilt, or variance of yin and yang. So idea is to bring back the balance. So you have to find out who you are in terms of yin and yang.
Yeah.
So that's knowing thyself.
Right.
Socrates,
Yes.
right?
All right. Yes.
That's knowing your yin and yang, or in
Yes.
Sasang medicine, that's knowing your constitution. And then you have to identify the yin and yang of various substances that you ingest. So the more toxic it is, more tilted the yin and yang. The edible foods are generally balanced in yin and yang. Okay. About not quite 50-50. Nothing is perfect,
Right.
perfectly balanced. So based on the tilt of yin and yang, so you find the substance that is the opposite. So if you're tilting toward yang, you supply yin substance. If you're tilting toward yin, you supply yang substance. Okay. So
Well, can I stop you? Is I feel like the yin and yang, I call it the yin and yang, but is that like energy, the energy of the food? Is that what you're going for here? The positive
yes.
and the negative, basically, of the food? Okay.
Yeah, fundamentally. Yeah.
Right. Because here's what I think, and I just want to know. So I always think too much of anything is not good for you.
Right.
And go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, practice moderation.
Right.
Is the most important principle.
Yeah.
In terms of Eastern philosophy.
Yeah.
And that which is based on I Ching.
Yeah.
So I Ching says practice moderation.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, you make yourself sick. I have Halloween candy sitting here, and I didn't have as many trick-or-treaters as I wanted to, and I've been eating Halloween candy. So I finally, because it starts to make you sick if you eat too much, so I finally had to put it away. But it's like, and I use this as an example, but you know what's good for your body, because certain things that we eat, our body rejects, and our body doesn't lie. And so when you are more in touch with your body, you know what you can have and what you can't have.
Right, right. So again, cultivating oneself means reducing the variance or tilt of yin and yang. So closer you get to the center, it's a balance point. Closer you're getting to, we say, Tao or to God.
To God, yes. Now, I always meditate and bring in the light. Do you guys do that too? Is that part of your practice? Do you
That's
meditation?
yeah, one of the meditation method.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
talk
cool.
about,
Cool.
There's so many ways to meditate.
Right?
So yeah. So meditation is like in one sense, extended concentration. So if you're present, if you're in the moment, 24/7, that's enlightenment.
Right. Yeah.
Which is hard to
Hard to achieve. But then you start to pay attention to the little things, in life, and you become aware. I just know from experience, then you start to kind of slow down a little bit, and you get you get the balance. Well, and I want to talk, you do a chapter, you guys, this book is really cool. There's so much information in here, I have to say. You do a chapter on music. I'm really into music. I just think music's really important for people because we are energetic souls. What did you learn about music, and what can you tell us about that?
Well, Plato was heavily into music because music plays a big part in politics. Plato said music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and everything. So music, we all know, is a universal language. It's that which bridges heaven and earth, and which takes you to the deepest part of your soul and gets you closest to God. So music has been used in politics, in warfare. I don't know if you remember Napoleon's army. They marched to the beat of drums. So they use music in psychological warfare as well as in actual battles. And music was used to help balance people. So it's about balancing, it's about self-cultivation. So by going back to energy, raising your frequency.
Right.
So if you play the balanced music, then you become not only healthier physically, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Right. I agree. I think music is really balancing to the soul. I know that, and I talked about this on the show, you can, if you have an ailment, you can just Google what sounds you need to heal, and you can listen to that sound. I mean, that's how advanced it really is. And I really believe in the healing power of music. I truly
Yes.
I think it's a big deal. I'm glad. Go ahead.
I was going to just say, Edgar Cayce, even Einstein said it. Future medicine is a sound medicine.
Yes, I agree. Okay. Oh wow, wholeheartedly. Yeah. Well, and I have a crystal bowl myself. I have the F sharp, and it's the sound of love. It's the note of love. It's a high frequency. And when that frequency just balances you when you play that.
Yes.
I also want to talk about, there were some things I didn't understand in the book, and I wanted to ask you. You do talk about the Trinity. You say heaven, earth, and human beings. Talk about this? I didn't really, is this like the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost kind of thing, or?
Yes. That's correct.
All right.
Brahman, Vishnu, and Shiva, or
got it. Okay,
Vishnu,
cool.
Shiva, and Shakti.
Yeah.
So number 3 represents unity. Okay, and harmony. So it's a number of universe, number of God. So if you look all around you, there's number 3 everywhere. So like everything spins, that's 360 degrees, right? Multiple of 3.
Right.
And, atom has proton, neutron, and electron.
Right.
Okay, human body. If you look at your body, there's 3 segments. Like for example, you have a cranium, maxilla, and mandible on the head. You have a cervical spine, thoracic spine, and lumbar spine on the body. You have thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity, and pelvic cavity. Your limbs, there's 3 segments to it: upper arm, forearm, and the hand.
Oh my gosh.
Thigh, calves, and then your feet. So, and then inside, like for example, I mentioned 3 controlling mechanisms in the body. You have a hormonal system, the endocrine system, and then you have a nervous system, and the one that regulates in the middle, hypothalamus. You have a brain, you have a central nerves, and you have a peripheral nerves.
All 3.
Pancreas, yeah, all 3. The pancreas secretes with insulin, then there's a glucagon, and then one that regulates the 2 called somatostatin. So you can see the manifestation of number 3 within us,
That's
as
interesting.
well as in the nature.
Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. Yeah. And I knew that, but I mean, I know about 3s, but I didn't really correlate it to the bodies. So I thank you for sharing that with us. I think that's really cool.
Okay.
What is Sang medicine? You say it was created over 100 years ago. It goes by your body type based on your physical and mental characteristics. I had not heard of this. Can you give us a quick?
So Sasang is a subdivision of Yin and Yang, which we haven't actually touched upon. But so there's that's what Yin and Yang are 2. It's the energetic axes of the universe. It's the binary language, and it's a polar yet complementary forces in the universe.
Okay.
And it divides into 4. So there's a greater yin and a lesser yin, greater yang and lesser yang.
Okay.
And Sa means number 4.
Okay.
Sang means symbol or image. So it can represent image like in the hexagrams or trigrams or bigrams, or it can actually represent form or structure or shape. So there are 4. So it's like there are many types of body, as you know. But why only 4? Because it's like season. You have infinite variations in weather, but there are only 4 seasons. There are infinite number of directions, but there are only 4 cardinal directions.
Right.
If you know the 4 cardinal directions, you can get to anywhere in this universe, right?
Right.
So it's a constitutional medicine, meaning things that are not changing. So your morphology or physical shape, physiology or endocrine function is part of this constitution. And then as opposed to ones that are labile or that's changing, such as your habits, your education or social attitude, those change with the environmental pressure, right? So that's the constitution. So Dr. Gemma Lee, over 100 years ago, created this system based on I Ching. So it's based the Sasang, the word Sasang comes from I Ching.
Okay.
And there are 4 body types called Taeyangin, or greater yang, Soyangin, lesser yang, Taeomin, greater yin, and Somin is lesser yin. So and each exhibit different personalities, temperaments. Physical shapes are also different, and type of illness they suffer from are different. So,
and you only narrowed it down to 4, right? That's crazy. Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's like there are about 40 different blood types, but it comes down to just 4 types: A, B, and O.
That's true. That's true.
So,
wow.
There's a if you go down to DNA, there are 4 bases to the nucleotides: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. So you can also see this manifestation of
Breakdown.
number 4
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's very interesting. So, like, how, if you would look at me, like, how would you know how would I know what type I was? Or how would I know what, you know what I mean? Do you talk,
Well,
do you say
the
in the
most
book?
important is the physical shape of the body. So
Okay.
Taeyangins, the greater yang type, have a bigger head and a thick neck compared to their bodies.
Okay.
Soyangin is an upside down triangle. So wide flaring shoulders down to narrow waist, like a gymnast body. That's a
Gotcha.
Soyangin body
Gotcha.
type.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Pyramid body type is they're like a tree trunk. The one they can't have pot bellies. They're thick in the waist. So they don't have that hourglass figure.
Mhm.
And then Somin generally have bigger hips, larger hips
Mhm.
in relation to their shoulders.
Okay.
So that's so you look at that body shape, and then you discern, what type of temperament
That person is. Yeah.
the person is, and
Interesting.
then also type of illness they are either suffering now or have suffered in the past.
In the
So
past.
that's how you decipher a constitution or
It's
body
very,
type.
yeah, I think this is really interesting. There's a lot of information. Let me just say, this book comes out November 21st, you guys.
Yes.
And how long, and there is a co-author, Dr. David S. Lee is also an author of the book, along with Joseph K. Kim. How long did it take you guys to put this together?
Well, at that time, the book came out originally in Korea back in 2002. So that's 21 years ago.
Okay.
So at the time, Dr. Lee and we put together our experience, 30 years of his and 25 years of mine back then, okay? So 55 years of experience. Took us several years, maybe 3 years or so to write the book.
Okay.
And so it came out in Korean language first, and then I had difficulty finding a publisher. And then finally, after 21 years later, we found the publisher.
Seriously, oh my God. Well, it's really, I mean, it's full of so much really cool information, and it's very enlightening. And I can see the correlation between a lot of the different, I guess I want to say, about the universe, about energy, about how things work, about, just you say the yin, it's the yin and the yang. I probably don't pronounce it properly, but I mean, it just shows a lot of commonalities of a lot of the Christian, religion, and some of the, Catholic, different religions that I'm seeing really are true in this book.
Yes.
It's
So
interesting.
I Ching is I Ching epitomizes entirety of Eastern culture and civilization,
Mhm.
just like the Christian Bible does that for Western culture and civilization.
Yeah.
And then fundamentally, it's about tuning in with Tao. So what is Tao? Tao is, in terms of Eastern philosophy, God is personification of Tao. So Tao is equal to God, or God is within Tao.
Same
So
thing.
Tao, Tao,
Okay.
the best
Okay.
explanation of Tao in terms of English that I've seen is, it is so vast that nothing exists outside its boundary, yet it is so small that nothing can be contained within. So it's about aligning with Tao, which means aligning with your soul, aligning with your higher being.
Right, your
So
higher.
that's I think
Yes.
that's it's fundamental to all religion.
Yeah, it really is, because you're talking about your higher self, and you're talking about God or creator, and you can say Tao, you can say energy, you can say source, but it's really, I just want to say that I'm really glad that you have got it published in the United States, because it's time. Well, no, if everybody has a different way of looking at things. Some people are really against organized religion, and I get that. But the principles really are the same across the board on all of these different things. And it's time we just connect. I feel like,
Yes.
if we could just connect every day, and that's what I do, connect to God, connect to the Tao, and connect to Mother Earth. Do you talk about Mother Earth at all in the book? What do you call
Oh
them?
yes, of course. Of
You do?
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you say? yeah, talk a little bit about her, because I believe the earth is alive and gives us healing energy.
So we call Earth or nature, Mother Nature or Mother Earth, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So then now think about Mother. Mother loves all her children equally. She's
Mhm.
not tilted in any way, whether good or bad, whether successful or not successful. This is how you can say God thinks,
Yeah.
loves everyone equally, right?
Yeah.
So, so the other virtue that is spoken of in I Ching, in addition to the moderation we talked about earlier, is the virtue of being able to embrace everything, just like mom, just like
Mhm.
Mother Earth. Mother Earth has all the elements, right? Fire, water, metal. It does not reject anything. It
Right.
accepts
Yeah.
everything equally.
Yeah.
And that's what I Ching teaches us.
Yeah. I love it. Well, yeah, because we're all, yeah, exactly. We got to get to this point where everybody realizes that we're all these energetic souls in these bodies and we're all really the same.
We
And
are, we are.
I know, it's crazy. Before we get out of here, we have a few more minutes. I want to talk about the yin and the yang of politics. Just because I started off the show with, I don't want to harp on the news, but I want to be informed.
Okay.
And so, what does the yin and yang of politics say?
Well, like United States government, if you look at it, there's Democrats and Republicans. They have their agendas, right?
Right.
And you have, three branches of government, which
Right.
goes with the Trinity, right? You
Right.
have a executive branch, enforces the law. You have a judicial branch, which maintains the law, and then legislative branch, which creates the law and balances the two. So life, even though everything is up yin and yang, it's not yin or yang. It's yin and yang. It's both. So you have to look at it from both sides. You
Right.
have to learn to look at things
Oh,
from an opposite perspective.
right.
So it's like the Niels Bohr, the father of quantum physics, said. He said opposites are complementary, and he also said an ordinary truth is a statement whose opposite is false. But a great truth is a statement whose opposite is also great truth.
Mhm.
So who's right and who's wrong? You got to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
And I think that's where all of us have problems.
Yeah, I think so too. See, now my philosophy, I'll just tell you because you're on the show today. I think we should have maybe 12 wise souls, and that's who should oversee everything. We shouldn't have Republican and Democrat. We just have 12 wise souls, and they can make the decisions for the people, and we can elect them. But,
I see.
I just, it's become corrupt, unfortunately. And that's when, I think our forefathers started out with a wonderful design, and we got to get back to basics. We got to get back to our forefathers and why they put this all together to begin with. What do you think?
Yes, we have to go back to our the the essence
Yes.
of our being. So let's say it's about cultivation of oneself. It's about getting rid of variance of yin and yang. So I mentioned in the book. So we have to check our ego, our selfishness, our greed, our wickedness. So we have all of that because of this imbalance of yin and yang. So when you cultivate yourself, whether through spiritual practice or other practices, like certain arts, then we can reduce the variance of yin and yang and get back to the center where we are connected with God or higher being. And that's what I think each and every one of us we need to do. And remember, peace is not out there.
It's in
Peace
here.
is within. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, happiness is not out there. Happiness starts within.
Right.
Healing comes from within. It's not out there. And also respect. it's also all about self-respect. So if you don't have self-respect, then you cannot respect others.
That's
So
right.
it all comes back to yourself and how you raise your consciousness on
That's
a daily
right.
basis.
Very well said. Very well said. It's true. If we could all just go inside, and I think I'll back up a little bit. I think the COVID really made people go within. I think that was a blessing in disguise because people had to sit with themselves and had to figure out what was really important, to figure out the really important things in life. And I think people are also starting, and I want to know your opinion. I interview a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people, read a lot of books. I feel like people are starting to realize that it is not selfish to work on yourself. It's what we have to do, because until each of us works on ourselves, how are we going to raise the vibration? Do you know what I mean? So
Right,
what
of
do you
course.
right, so what do you see in your practice? Do you see that people are starting to realize this fact?
Yeah, I think the overall vibrational frequency is rising.
Okay.
I see that, and yeah,
You think people
and
are
this,
starting to realize they got to work on themselves?
yes, I think so. I
Do
think,
you?
yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Despite all the chaos going around the world and around us, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm seeing that more and
Yeah.
more.
Okay,
And it's
cool.
about there's a famous folk song from Russia. I don't know if you know a song called "Million Roses."
No.
Okay, so go into YouTube, type in "Million Roses," and you'll see all these different
Okay.
videos that come up. And so
Okay.
it's in Russia, it has over 5 million hits,
Okay.
okay, and more by now. And
Okay.
then there's a French version, there's
It's
English
called
version,
Million Roses. It's just
Million Roses,
Million Roses. Okay.
and then and there's also Korean version,
Okay.
and
Well, what is it?
well, it's about love, but there's a Korean version that has was sung by a top singer, this lady singer in Korea back in the
Okay.
70s, 80s. But she changed the lyrics a little bit from the original Russian lyrics. And then you have to blossom roses on a daily basis. So in Taoist practice, one way to become enlightened is you do 3,000 good deeds in life.
Oh, wow.
3,000.
Yeah.
But I say, let's do a million roses, blossom million roses, which happens, and a rose blossoms when there's true love. So if you blossom roses on a daily basis, get to a million, I think we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. It's the love. We need to bring back the love. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, God is love.
Yeah. God created the universe with the energy of love.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. This is really cool. So, what are your plans? I mean, are you just going to go talk about this book? Has anybody read it besides me, or what are you hearing about?
Well, today is the first podcast, and I
Oh,
have another one coming up
I'm
in
so
about.
honored. I'm so
Okay.
honored.
Thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate it. And we'll see. We'll take it one step at a time.
Let's have a
And
good
then
time. What if people want to get in touch with you, Joseph? Can they, do you have an email, or is there a website that we can
yeah, I
contact?
have a website. It's kind of long. It's called it's www.encinoacupunctureandherbs.com.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I will definitely put it in the comments. So it's Encino
Acupuncture
Acupuncture.
and AND herbs with the S.com.
Okay, and herbs.com. Okay, perfect. I'll get it out there to everybody, because if they
Thank
have
you.
questions, no, you're welcome. So what would you like to leave us with? I mean, there's so much information in here. I have to tell you, this is a cool book to give somebody like at holiday. Because this is something you could pick up and just read, a little bit and then put it down and then just kind of leaf through. What would you like to leave us with?
Well, I hope the study of I Ching can help everyone on their journey up high road to humanity.
Yes, I know, right? I agree with you. Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely fabulous. Well, thank you, Joseph Kim, for visiting us today. You guys, I relaunched my book, Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You. Here is the new version if you want to check it out. Kind of gives you the basics on energy and spirituality. It gets you guys going. If you would like an angel reading, go to my website, nancyyearout.com. Also, I'll be in LA. I will be at the Conscious Life Expo in February. Come and see me. I'm going to be teaching spiritual law and angel communication. So you guys, that's February the 10th. So come and see me at the LAX Hilton. All right. I'll be there. Again, thank you so much, Joseph. Everybody have a fabulous weekend and God bless.